I was lost. I'd lost my sense of belonging. I'd lost my sense of community. And if I'm truly honest with you, I felt like I'd messed up in Afghan. I felt like I'd not perhaps reached the standards of a good commando, and they were real hard. They were hard things to deal with.
Gregg Stevenson served as a Royal Engineer Commando before his promising military career came to a shattering halt in 2009 when he was on his first operational tour in Afghanistan. While out on a routine foot patrol, Gregg stepped on an IED. The blast causing so much damage to his legs, surgeons were left with no option but to amputate both of them. He was just 24. After battling depression and PTSD, he has fought back to use his experiences to help other veterans struggling with mental health problems. Sport has played a crucial role in his recovery too, and in 2024 he competed at the Paralympic Games in Paris, winning a gold medal in mixed double sculls. He was recently awarded an MBE for his services to rowing. This is his story. By becoming a commando and being an engineer at that period of time, you must have known that your job was going to put you in danger. Were you nervous about going to Afghanistan, or was there a sense of excitement?
I think the first emotion about going was excitement. Yeah, of course, you want to get your first operational tour done. You want to deliver a good performance. There was obviously a nervousness as well when you're doing the build-up and the IED threat, the things we were hearing, coming back on how difficult they were to find on occasions. And I was in Afghanistan in 2009. The death rate, the injury rate, these are probably the highest statistics we saw. Yeah, I think there was almost an acceptance that this was going to be a challenging, tour. But I think the overarching emotion was excitement. I was relatively young. It was my first operational tour, and I think there was part of me that wanted to go and get the job done.
Let's move on to March the 6th, 2009, Greg, and the day that changed your life forever. Tell me what you were doing on the day.
In all honesty, it felt like, quite a normal day in Afghanistan. And it was just a routine foot patrol. We had a little bit of sporadic fire. I was looking for a sort of fire position or getting the section into a safer position, and we pushed into a compound. I went in alone because I was searching for IEDs. I had the bar mistake and unfortunately, just didn't pick up one of the IEDs and detonated it. Fairground sensation, in the pit of my stomach was the first feeling I remember having. I sort of thrown into a wall, there's a lot of sand in my mouth and my nose. It felt like I'd been kicked in the face. It felt quite warm. I sort of patted down my legs and realised they weren't in a good state. I'd not completely lost the legs at this point, but I could tell, I could see the top of the boots and things. I knew things weren't good.
Did you contemplate death at that point?
Not until I got to the helicopter, I don't think. It was an American helicopter that picked me up, actually. There's a bit of firefight going on, and the Americans were in the area. Yeah, just a whole strange array of emotions. I was beginning to feel a bit more pain as time went on, and I think that's when things subsided, when I realised, A, I'd lost a lot of blood, and I could hear people talking, but B, I realised that I was spinning out of consciousness, and I was very calm, very stoic, looking out of the back of a helicopter, almost saying my goodbye. It was a very, very strange feeling.
Must be extremely difficult to lose that sense of not just career, but purpose, identity, all the things that you built up around yourself.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that mentally?
Yeah, I think that's where, that's where I struggled, in all honesty. I went through rehabilitation quite well, because I had a purpose, I had a thing to get out of bed for. So I think when I was then back at home, and like you say, coming to terms with acquiring a disability, that's when the doubt crept in. I probably had 18 months of living with depression at the time, being frustrated that I'd lost my career.
I've heard you talk about that depression and how you turned to alcohol and painkilling meds. How low did that struggle take you?
I was low, I was frustrated, and I was probably angry, I was angry at the situation, angry at myself for the way I was handling it. It was just difficult. That's the honest appraisal is, it was just a difficult time to navigate. I think the penny drop moment was just, I remember my wife almost challenging me saying, why is it always you? And it was hard to hear those things, but I'm so grateful that those that love me were big enough. And I'm so fortunate to sit here now to say that actually I took the challenge. That I felt, actually, I probably can be back in control of this train that's veering the wrong way. I probably can put the brakes on a little bit.
Following his struggles with mental health, Gregg was introduced to On Course Foundation, a military charity that uses golf to help with rehabilitation.
The thing I'm really, really grateful for is the support I got from the On Course Foundation. That came to me at a time where I was looking for opportunities, I was looking to get myself out of the house, I was looking for something where it didn't involve alcohol. And it was just everything I was looking for, learning a new skill, chasing a golf ball around the golf course for 4 hours, being in a golf club setting where you could socialise. And from that moment, it seemed to just sort everything out in terms of focus, ambition, purpose, all these things that I was missing. And I think golf just gave me that.
Gregg received further support from On Course Foundation when the charity found him employment within the NHS as a gym instructor in a prosthetic centre. He has since worked with Walking with the Wounded, delivering peer support to other veterans. Gregg then completed a master's degree in psychology, and he now acts as an Armed Forces Lived Experience Lead for Operation Courage, a project that sits within the NHS to specifically support veterans. We've already seen how golf played a big part in your recovery, Gregg, but let's now talk about rowing. I know you missed out on going to the Tokyo Games, but you did get to compete at the Paris Paralympics in 2024 when you teamed up with Lauren Rolls in the mixed double sculls. So tell me what it's like not just to compete at that highest level, but to win a gold medal. I mean, what a feeling that must have been.
Absolutely unreal, unreal. And I still don't feel like I fully accepted it. I was in an incredibly tight final. Ourselves in China went toe to toe, and it took everything, and I genuinely mean everything, to get in front of them. And myself and Lauren, we did that, and we truly competed. And to be able to sit back now and to have done that with a disability under the microscope of the world watching, it's an incredibly proud thing to say.
Royal and Stevenson for a Glory gold medal performance, taking down the Chinese.
When you look back from the moment when you were lying in that Afghan dust, staring at a life without legs, to being on the winner's podium with a gold medal hanging around your neck, that must be an incredibly proud moment for you.
I hope to be a figure that can show that perseverance and hard work can get you there. Unfortunately, I'm not blessed with that skill just to click my fingers and make things happen. But what I am blessed with and what I have developed over the years is a work ethic. That's what I'm most proud of. There were plenty of opportunities where I could have said, that's not for me, that. And there were plenty of times I felt like that, but I just kept churning out the hard yards.
Did you see it as important to prove to your kids that your disability doesn't have to define who you are?
100%. I think it was truly my guiding star throughout those early mornings. I always felt a little bit frustrated, or perhaps a little bit, maybe upset that they never saw Commando Gregg. And when I thought I'd lost that, I genuinely thought, will they ever see that side of me that perhaps makes me stand out a little bit, or if nothing else, a bloody good work ethic. And when I got presented the opportunity to go to the Paralympics, that's what I felt. I felt I've got an opportunity here that's come my way that actually I could probably show them what young Gregg was like. And I think they've seen that. It's a proud feeling.
You've got quite a few military-related tattoos, haven't you, on your arms in particular. Yeah. You're proud of your service?
Oh yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. And I think those tattoos represent, when perhaps I've forgotten or not felt connected to that identity. I think that tattoo sometimes, especially my dagger, when the going gets tough, it's nice every now and again just to see it in the mirror and just remind myself who I am and what I can achieve.
Given all that you've been through, would you do it all again?
The military, yeah, I would. Yeah. Biggest learning curve I've ever been on. Found out a lot about myself, my self-esteem, who I am as a person, those strong values. I wouldn't have them without the military, so within a heartbeat.
You've been touched by a number of military charities since your injury, Gregg. Blesma was the first, and as you've mentioned, On Course Foundation and Walking with the Wounded are others. Indeed, you're a trustee with Walking with the Wounded. All of those charities have received substantial grants from the Veterans Foundation. How important is that money to those charities?
I think what the Veterans Foundation have done in raising such a magnificent amount of money is just provide opportunities for the third sector to work with veterans and to really make a difference for those that require a little bit of assistance or support. This is an incredible way of doing that.
And the Veterans Foundation, Gregg, it raises the lion's share of its money through the Veterans Lottery. So that's people who pay £10 a month to support veterans like you. What would your message be to the players of the Veterans Lottery?
I'd really want to thank the players of the Veterans Lottery. It's an amount of money that sounds affordable but makes such a difference. So thank you for playing and making a difference to veterans' lives. If you would like to help veterans like me and support organisations like Walking with the Wounded and the On Course Foundation, please play the Veterans Lottery.